Hi, you're welcome to another episode of FemBiz with me, Joy Abia. This is a space where we host honest and intelligent conversations with women who are shaping the future of impact in business, career, and leadership across Africa and beyond. Today, I am joined by Etse Sunny-Ekhalume, who is a dear friend to me, a well-seasoned professional. I am going to go ahead to read her bio just before we start the conversation. It is a data driven account manager managing over 300 business partners in a leading tech marketplace. She specializes in building strong, growth focused relationships, helping businesses increase revenue, improve operations, and scale through data backed strategies. On this episode, she'll be sharing insights on managing partnerships at scale and driving impact through trust and performance. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, today, please join me as I welcome my guest, Etse Sunny-Ekhalume.
Hi, Joy. Thank you so much for that introduction. Spot on, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
I'm glad to be here, and I look forward to how this conversation goes.
I love it. All right. So, first of all, I want you to. First of all, hope you had a good day. How?
Oh, yes, I have had a good day. I woke up this morning, did my laundry, went to the salon, came back, got ready, and I got here all in good time.
Chill. Like
Yeah.
you're actually you're smiling a lot.
Yeah, I'm on leave. So I am smiling a lot.
That thing was frowning a lot as I'm hearing back. Anyway, I'm happy to see you smiling.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so for the purpose of I would love if you could help my audience understand your career journey,
Oh.
where you started from and where you are now, of course.
Okay, so my career journey has been a very interesting one, and I would also like to say that it has been robust, right? I studied mechanical engineering in school. From there, after NYSC, I did my NYSC in a bank. COVID year, so there wasn't much I was doing because I wasn't a full-time staff. We're all at home in COVID year. After that, I worked as an engineer, a mechanical engineer, at a cement industry, at a cement plant in the cement industry. I decided that I didn't want to work there anymore, and I decided to learn data analysis and data science to be well equipped for tech roles. From the cement plant that I worked on, I studied at ALX, and from there I got my first role as an account manager and a data analyst. Or data analysis was one of the key skills that I had that I knew landed me the job. And so far, it has been very interesting. I have learned a whole lot. I have grown a whole lot. I thought I was good with people, but this job has shown me places and areas to improve on with, handling relationships with people, understanding their needs, and making sure that what I'm offering them, serves that need that they have. So I've learned a lot, and I also use their data to help them make business decisions. That's basically what I do as an account manager.
Lovely. I mean, at first, it was supposed to be like a tech role, like mostly analysis. I remember when before
Yeah.
you get when you got this job that you currently are, that was what it was. And then you started telling me that you had to start having communications with partners, and I'm like, girl, this is like everything in one, like everything you're good at. And but
Yeah.
like over time, I've seen you grow, and it has stressed you. A lot of people has actually stressed you.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad to see you at this stage and like the enthusiasm to where you want to go and where you're going. Okay. So I want you to first like tell us like what I mean, you evolved into this, right? It's not like something that you have been building for a while, but like you have this experience now, and so far, I'd say you've actually done well. Managing 300 partners, girl. Anyway, so now tell us what um this role entails, like managing strategic partnerships, like what's What is it about? Why should businesses care about these sort of like this kind of skill that someone has and bringing it onto their team?
Okay, so the first reason I would say is businesses should care about this because it determines the perception that, the businesses you're working with have about you. If, for example, I buy a table, right? And in my process of buying the table, I go to the store, they collect my contact, they let me know, oh, if you ever need repairs, if you need instructions, if you have any issues with the table, please feel free to call this number, we'll help you out. And then there's another place I go to and I just buy the table and they let me go with the table. Both of them at the same cost, mind you. And then you have a situation where you're trying to assemble the table and you're finding it difficult, and then you call someone and they say, oh, we have this video, or here's a tutorial, or this is something that you can use that will help you assemble the table. And then a month after, someone calls you, how are you finding your table, right? So now it's more than just, you bought a table from this place. It's now like, I have a relationship with these people. If I have a problem with this table, I can always reach out to them, like they're available. So having relationships are very important. And the next time you want to get a table, the next time you have someone around you who wants to get a table, you'd always recommend them. You'd always say, oh, these people, they have great service. They attend to you well, even after, the purchase that you have made, even after that period. They make sure that you're fine and you're able to do everything that you need to do to be able to, get the most out of your table. So I think that having someone in your business who manages relationships, especially when it's not just one-off purchases. So I gave a table, for example, it's a one-off purchase, right? But if you have a tool that you're using, if you have a machine that needs servicing, if you have, things that you provide over and over and over again, it shouldn't just be, we provide it, they pay you. A relationship is so important because in a relationship that there is trust, in a relationship that there is loyalty, it's important for growth. So partnerships or having someone with this skill is important for growth for the businesses that you partner with and your own business as well.
Okay. I mean, one of the things that I know is that you're so good with, I feel, so good may be extreme, but from personal experience and seeing you, I know that you're good with relationships, right? And people, emotional intelligence and all. What does it look like going from managing 5 partners to 300 partners?
So I never managed 5 partners.
From your start.
Yeah, from the start it was in the hundreds of partners. So I think that so the growth that I've seen, or how my portfolio has grown, I think that the difference in, going from managing a smaller number to a bigger number is more about having structure and scalable solutions to problems that partners have. So there are, times where you have problems that are the same across board. Like if a partner complains about this, or partners regularly complain about this, partner regularly raise an issue concerning this, right? So having a system that addresses that issue and doesn't take so much of your time, because your time is so important. It don't take so much of your time. It doesn't require you to have like a physical visit or a phone call. Having that structure in place for FAQs, let's say, for example, for partners, is important, or has helped me manage my partners better. However, there are times where you have, issues that are peculiar to each partner, and that will require more time. But as long as you have a structure in place for the issues that are similar across the board, that has helped me manage partners, even with the increase in my portfolio.
Okay, so that like I mean, along the line, you've been able to at least to automate, make things easy in terms of, I mean, to so like that means at the core. Would you say that at the core of like being partnership, a partnership person, is it at the core of it is communication?
Yes.
Is that the first skill, or is there any other thing you say comes before communication?
No, I think communication is the first and the most important, because a lot of the time you're managing their expectations. A lot of the time, there's a certain way that you'd have to communicate things, difficult things to them, and make them understand and grant them assurance. And, sometimes you have to de escalate situations. So sometimes a partner calls and they're, hot tempered on the phone, and you cannot match that energy no matter how you're feeling at the time. It is frustrating, but communication in listening and knowing what to say and actually solving their problem, because it becomes annoying when anytime they call you on a certain issue you tell them the same thing over and over and over again without actually doing something that can destroy trust, because your word doesn't hold water anymore. So communication in terms of listening, knowing what to say, de-escalating situations, and actually solving the issue that the partner has. That is the core skill that I think helps me perform well at my job.
Okay, so where does the role of data or like being an analyst also, like how does your data skills help you in like also managing multiple partners for like a big, so I'm saying now for talking to someone who manages maybe one or two or three or four strong partnerships for maybe like a small brand or like a, but like now when we're talking big companies and brands that are actually serving maybe global, like they actually operate on a global level.
Okay.
These are the kind of many partners, and I'm sure these are like you're just managing like some number of the
Yeah.
exactly. So that means there's still a lot of. So now, where does your like what is the role of data play in helping you do your work effectively?
Okay, so because of the kind of industry I work in, we have access to a lot of data for these partners. In some certain industries, the data for the partners may not be as much as I have access to because of the industry that I work in, right? And so letting these partners know how they can do better from the data that you have, again, being in the organization that provides them a service, giving them that data for how they can improve will improve their business. For example, I have situations where for some of my top partners who we generate a lot of revenue from, I could have a meeting and tell them, oh, this is how you performed in 2025. This is what the data says. This is how your customers received your product. This is what we think you can do better. And this is how we think you'll be able to grow even more this year. There's sometimes you go more niche and say, okay, in this category of your business or people that provide similar things, this is what is doing well. I think you'd be able to provide this to your own customers as well. And, just letting them know how they can do better and how they can grow is really important. Or that is how I use the data to help them grow. And of course, if you don't understand what the data is saying, if you don't know how to clean it up, if you don't know what each thing means, if you don't know how to visualize it so that it's simple for them to understand, it's going to be difficult for you to communicate these things. If you don't know certain areas that can be cause and effect, like, oh, this happens because you do this, or when you do this, this will happen, or being able to recognize trends, all of this are skills in data analysis that will help you communicate growth strategies to your partners.
How do you're a woman, like, so how do your emotions, how do you do it? Tell us your day to day on breathing and self-control and all of that?
Okay, so when it comes to controlling my emotions in front of people, I think I have a hang of that. I have more practice controlling myself and not bursting out or lashing out than I do lashing out or bursting out at certain situations. And being able to be calm, and I think understanding where the person is coming from helps me, and trying to understand their frustration and calming them down and de-escalating the situation, right? That is what they see. But what goes on internally, I am freaking out. I am like, oh my God. And my colleagues, I mean, they know this about, about me. But I do think that I'm getting better. If something happens, I'm on the phone with the partner and, I sound all calm, or I'm just like, and then I get off the phone and then I'm panicking. And I don't always have that in control. Like, it's something that I'm working through therapy right now, but I want to be able to detach myself sometimes from, like, the partner has an issue. It is not it is not an attack on me. They just have this issue. And sometimes I have problems detaching myself and, looking at it objectively, and I just take it on as,
You've gotten better at that.
Yes, I have. Oh, yeah, very much better. Yeah, you will have to learn.
Okay, so let's talk about driving growth. Like, for the leading tech company, for one of the leading tech companies that you work for, is definitely, like, growth is inevitable. Like, they have to be making money for them to still be in business. So, and with this is a B2B firm, yeah. And so, for what growth looks like in a B2B company, I think maybe you would love if you could touch on that, like maybe like the partnership, what it looks like when you can say, okay, this partner is we're managing this to help this company grow, and we've so far seen, I mean, their KPIs, the most important KPI, of course, would be, okay, that they're actually bringing in money, right? But they're in terms of in managing them, how can you tell that some partners would, from where they are now to nurturing them, and then how that nurturing is important to see that, where do you even pick and say, okay, this partner is definitely going to do well in the future. All you need to do right now, this is where you are right now, and then you have to do this and do that. So basically, it's like, I'm just asking, like, what it looks like, what success would really look like.
So what growth looks like for, or will look like for, my company handling the partnerships that they have,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, I would say that if so the company generally has goals that they're pursuing, right? And these partners directly influence that growth. So there's a certain measure of value that the partner has to provide to show that the growth of the partner is directly influencing the growth of my company. Right. And on the partner side, again, managing these partners, I would say that engagement level from them is a key indicator of growth for them, and in turn, growth for my company. When partners are engaged, it is great. You would rather, there can be times where, generally things may not be going well for them. Maybe they are having internal issues, or maybe generally, like, now that fuel has gone up, people may not be patronizing them as much. But if they're still engaged, if you're still thinking, okay, this is happening, but what can we do to have better business? If they're constantly asking questions, if they're calling, if you text them and they respond, that is a sign that they would be successful and in turn drive growth for my organization. So I think the engagement level of these partners and them even listening to you and the recommendations you give them, because again, some businesses have constraints to what they can or cannot do. And you may give them recommendations and they'll be like, this is not what we can do. But then they would see the consequences of not taking your recommendation, because you're in the business, you know what's working, you're giving them advice based on this, based on the data that you have. And so if they're not engaged, if they don't listen, then there's not really a high chance for growth for them and internal growth for my company. So I always work with engagement and understanding their needs, because if I understand their needs, I know where to tackle things from. I know where to get the engagement from, what to recommend to them, how their relationship with my organization will translate to growth for them and also growth for.
Okay, so can you explain what like systems and structures that you have put in place for yourself, and maybe what other companies can do, in companies that actually do have this data, a large bulk, or let's say a bulk of their revenue is coming from the people that the businesses that they're partnering with, right? What should an efficient structure look like in terms of helping a relationship, like someone who manages relationships and partnerships in an organization? What structures do you think that what are good structure? What do good structures look like to help that person perform in terms of their management?
Okay, so I think that for a good structure looks like a good product or service, because ultimately this is why these partners are doing business with you, because of your product or your service. If you fail at that, there's hardly any other thing you can do. So have a good product or service. When it comes to putting a structure in place, most of the time, if businesses have concerns or issues, there should be a place that they can get reliable information from, correct and reliable information from. There should be quick response time. That is very important. So having a setup for quick response times for businesses, the businesses that you're partnering with, is very important. If you can automate things with AI, please do. Simple things that don't necessarily require personalization. If you can do that, I think it's helpful for scale and response time, because you don't need a real human to be there. So those are things that I think that businesses can put in place. Your product is the ultimate, your service is the ultimate. If it's not great, they're not going to come back, no matter how strong the relationship might be, because it's not helping their business. It's not giving them the value for what they think they're doing business with you for.
Wow, Etsy, thank you so much for your insights on this and sharing everything that you know about, this field that you're in. And it's very commendable how you've grown and you're doing it. And I'm very proud of you. Okay, please, if you're enjoying this video, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please follow us on all our social media platforms as B360TV, across board, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, Facebook, and TikTok. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. Before we end this episode, I'd like to ask Ette one more question. What does a truly valuable partnership look like when both sides are winning?
It looks like engagement from both sides. It looks like both sides listening to each other and understanding what each one needs and providing the needs of that. Because if both sides are not winning, then it's not a valuable partnership, and one person is going to fall out one way or the other. But by engaging each other and understanding the needs of each other, you're able to make compromises if need be to be able to serve the needs of one another, and in turn grow businesses.
Wow. So thank you so much for joining us on today's episode. This one is definitely for the founders, anybody who is building in a tech, a skill, a product that wants to scale and that you're going to be needing partners for. It is important to take into consideration all of the things that make a strategic partnership so that you can achieve growth. All right. So thank you so much, Etsy, for joining me.
Thank you
And I
for
hope you
having me.
enjoyed your time here too.
Yes, I did.
All right. That would be bye for now. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next episode.